just want to take 5 minutes to just make sure everyone is aware of what we're doing and why we're doing it, right? So in general, what we're trying to help you do is use things like machine learning, use analytics, use all that data that you're currently bringing together to help you avoid this kind of situation. You know, what we keep seeing over and over is these IT incidents that end up as front page news. You know, a couple months ago, you know, there was a big incident in Europe. A couple months before that, you know, there was processing that went offline that caused a lot of unhappy customers. You know, months before that, it was airline systems failures. So what we keep seeing is that there's more of these failures, there's more of these outages, there's more frequency, as well as longer duration. And this is ultimately impacting the business. It's causing a lot of downtime, is causing a lot of loss, but not just downtime, even slowdowns, which are probably more common on the mainframe than downtime. You know, this is impacting our business in terms of brand, in terms of trust with our customers, in terms of lost revenue, in terms of regulatory fines, or in terms of upset customers who are now in a position where they have power to go to another company very, very easily. And so, you know, these are the kind of things that we're trying to avoid. But if you go to the next slide, you know, there's reasons for this, right? It's the systems that we're currently using are sort of at their breaking point. And a lot of it just has to do with data and complexity. You know, we look at stats such as, you know, over the last 12 months, an analyst did a survey. There's an 88% increase in volume and velocity of things like metrics, of logs, of events. You know, we're at the point where it's just too much data, too much complexity, you know, too many different organizations out there who have to help maintain these business services. You know, we all want to be proactive. We all want to get ahead of it. We want to make sure that nothing impacts our customers. But it really comes down to it's just too much to handle on our own anymore. The systems that we have are at a breaking point. You know, as a result, it just takes too long to access the data, to analyze it, to figure out what's going on and where that root cause may lie. You know, we see stats like on average 4.5 hours in terms of when that incident occurs. It just takes a long time to address that. You know, for a lot of our mainframe customers, if this happens on the mainframe, 4.5 hours is millions upon millions of dollars of revenue that's potentially at risk. And ultimately, you know, we're trying to go through all this. It's taking a long time. A lot of these impact our customers, and that's ultimately what we want to avoid. You know, we're notified too late. It takes too long just because there's so much. We want to avoid customers finding these things and address them proactively, address them faster, and address them given the course and speed of what our systems are driving us to do. Srini? You know, within CA, we're bringing multiple different solutions to bear on this. You know, there's one, which is we're taking the existing tooling that you've been using for several years, such as SYSVIEW and NetMaster. We're embedding analytics and embedding machine learning into those products themselves. You know, this is really to help you move forward, you know, give you that stepping stone to some of the more advanced pieces. You know, we have standalone offerings, such as Mainframe operational intelligence. You know, this is where we're adding some more of our advanced capabilities and trying to move, you know, to more of an AI ops type of platform. And finally, we have things like dynamic capacity intelligence, which is giving you more of an automated way of dealing with some very specific domains, specifically around capacity and workload management. So just giving you a little bit more detail on what those three areas are. You know, with SYSVIEW and NetMaster, these are things that you've probably been using for several years, right? We're actually embedding machine learning into that, you know, so it's right there as part of your entitlement, right there within the tools you actually use. And in here we focus on, you know, for that specific CA product, collecting, analyzing, driving automation off of the things that you find in there today. You know, it's a step up from 3270 to help you visualize and explore all that data, right? You're already collecting it. It's a matter of now how do we put it in context and show it to you in a way that's quick and easy to understand. We help you analyze those metrics, automate, you know, provide pretty visuals like those green highways on the right-hand side, and do this in a way that you can rapidly deploy it, get it up and going without being too impactful on your overall MSUs and MIPS. As you get into MOI proper, right, on the next slide, MOI is really, it's a standalone thing. This is something that's purchasable outside of SYSVIEW, NetMaster, or the other IT ops tools. And this is really focused on correlation across these different feeds, right? It's about how do we surface issues in more complex situations, such as when does something happen in NetMaster and in Vantage and in Detector now, as an example. And how do we bring those together into issues that you can actually drill down on? For these complex situations, how do we can offer predictions about things happening in the future. We can show you history about where they've actually been doing these kind of things in the past across the different tools that you've been using. The goal here is really helping pinpoint that root cause faster. In most systems nowadays, it's not just something that's happening in CICS or something that's happening in DB2 or something that's happening in your TCP/IP stack or something that's even happening over on distributed. It's somewhere in between where one is impacting the other, and that's where MOI is trying to focus, and doing this for helping not just the experts on your team, but capturing that knowledge so that newer people who come on or people in ops can come in and see what's going on without having to give those system programmers or DBAs a call. And finally, last but definitely not least, we have dynamic capacity intelligence, which is analyzing these trends specific for capacity, right? We're looking at MSUs, your 4-hour rolling average. We're doing some multivariable calculus behind the scenes and looking at how does your workload policies and your caps and your MLC pricing, and how does all that come together so that we can better automate what's happening with your MSU spend and what's happening with adherence to your SLAs. So we're looking at all these different data factors coming in and using automation to help adjust in real time and make those small adjustments to keep you in an optimized state. All about helping you hit that SLA while making sure that we don't break our caps and making sure that we can actually try and bring down some of that cost that we have for things like MLC without having to worry about unplanned peaks, not by moving around workload, but by adjusting capacity levels in a pretty non-invasive way. So those are the three solutions that we tend to talk about in terms of analytics and machine learning.